gods. Thank you, Facebook gods, for allowing us to have this conversation today. I am your host of the Elevate series, Amber Vilhauer, and I have special guest on today, Christopher Nelson. Christopher, tell us like a minute or two about what you do and who you do it for.
Minute or two. So my name is Christopher Nelson. I'm with Wealthward Capital. Wealthward Capital helps technology employees and entrepreneurs build passive income portfolios by investing in commercial real estate. And I'm also the author of a book that will be coming out later this year called From IPO to Cash Flow.
Beautiful. Some of you were expecting Indrani to be here during this time spot. And Indrani is a beautiful, beautiful human being. She's one of the wisest souls that I have met. She is a fierce leader. And she had a personal matter that came up this morning and was unable to make it. And she was very upset because she thrives in environments like this. She's a brilliant speaker. She will be back on Mondays for that panel. And I just want to say thanks, Christopher, for stepping in. Christopher is somebody that we were planning on having on the panel next week. And I sent him an email. I was like, hey, man, are you free right now? And I love Christopher. We just met a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now.
2 months ago, December. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like one of my most joyful moments in company history because Christopher is this just force of light and love and determination. And he is so good at what he does. And he can pivot and talk about a lot of different things. But, you know, he has a great message. He has a beautiful wife, beautiful children, a beautiful heart. And we are going to dig into some nitty-gritty specific tactics about how you can move forward both mentally and professionally during this time. Last thing that I will say before we get into the nitty-gritty is please help us get this message out. It would really help me. For those of you watching on a desktop, if you can hit the watch party button at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, just to notify other people in your community that this live stream is happening right now. And anything that you can do to just click the share button, we got to get this message out. And we are in exchange for this time and value that Christopher and I are donating to you today. We are asking that you make donations to COVID and economic relief organizations. My team is putting links below in comments. So Christopher, blank canvas here. What is on your mind? What is in your heart to share right now? You have this platform. The people listening are small business owners. You can only imagine what's going on up here. What can we share with them to get them focused and moving forward?
I think what we can share with them is really, you know, what we were talking about earlier is looking at this. It's all how you look at this. What is your perspective? And this is an opportunity for a lot of us to reboot. And, you know, I'm a technology guy. I come from background. And so when you think about, you know, and in the computer world, there's the soft reboot where you plan it and you say, I'm going to take the computer down. And then there's the philosophy or there's the action of the hard reboot, where something happens, power's cut off, and you get the opportunity to start over. And I think for all of us, you know, our businesses look completely different than they did 2 weeks ago. Our calendars look completely different. Our houses look different.
Everything is different.
Everything's different, right? So this is the hard reboot. And then, you know, for me, it's always what lens am I going to put on? Because I can make a choice to say how I look at this. And so as I've been talking about this with other people, you know, like yourselves, other entrepreneurs who are excited about this, it's let's look at this at the opportunity. Let's see what is out there for an opportunity for ourselves, first and foremost. How can we, you know, change ourselves from this and become better people? And then how can we look at this as an opportunity to create something different? And that creation can be, you know, here, you know, personally, you know, in your lives. I mean, you know, looking at, you know, for myself, looking at my morning routine and saying, okay, now that I have my kids in the house, I'm actually going to get up a half an hour earlier and make sure that I have some more alone time for myself and really cherishing that, you know, whether I'm spending that on meditation and just getting quiet, or whether I'm actually, you know, doing some, you know, primal movement or yoga or something to get my body flowing before I'm greeting these ruckus boys. Those are some of the things.
I know, I'm laughing because I have a 3-year-old, Clay, as you know.
Yeah.
And the noise level, like the activity level, is so much higher. And I was laughing about this on a panel yesterday because he goes around, his dad's a firefighter. He's 3 years old. So he has all these fire trucks that like grandparents and everybody buys him fire trucks. And now he goes around the house all day long and he goes, there's an emergency. Woo, 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 woo. Mom, come help me with the emergency. And everything is like an emergency in these sirens. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It's so different now. So I love your concrete advice to take a little bit more you time, whether it's being still, doing yoga, something that you can pivot and adjust in your morning routine to take care of self so that you have more capacity to accept and thrive in this new environment. Can you think of any examples in your business about this is the way that we were doing things before, and now this is an opportunity that I saw, and so I'm making this pivot to serve in this way? And I'll give you an example to also give you time to think where I'm trying to take you. For me in my business, and we just spoke about this on our town hall meeting, I have a service-based business. I know that there's going to be a flood of people coming online right now thinking, how do I make money online? I need a website. And there is a portion of people that will hire my agency for website development, and we are going to crush it and service them. There's going to be a bigger percentage of the population that's going to think, I've got to save resources and do this myself. So now I am in my head thinking, how can I serve them so that they are setting up their own websites well, based on the knowledge that otherwise I could have imparted in them by building it out myself? So if there's a low price course that I can give people, like, here are a few conversion tactics that you can be, thinking of in your own website as you go build it yourself. That's one way that I can see this opportunity and pivot hard, build something to serve where we are right now. So can you think of anything in your business that has changed like that?
Definitely. And my business has changed drastically as well, because we're a private equity investment firm. So we actually look for multifamily, for large apartment complexes, get those under contract and get investment and take ownership of them and operate them. Now, with this uncertainty, that's stopped completely. But when my audience, which are technology employees that have created a lot of wealth in stock and equities, we've been trying to teach them over time, hey, you want to invest over here, come invest with us. And we've been actually doing the investing. That's where I've been spending the majority of my time in my business. And education was part of bringing people into the business, where now the pivot is more education, because people have gotten stung. They're hurting right now, and they need to understand, number one, they're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Markets, take haircuts and then they come back, but now they understand the value of this diversification. So it is education. It's with the right type of education, because my plan, or my methodology is really, prepare for, this equity that you're going to get, protect it, and then actually produce cash flow. And so now I've gone from working on the produce side to going back, and exactly as you're saying, how do I actually create educational content? Or people actually have time. Do I actually do some consulting? Do I actually do some study groups and create some groups and walk people through things to get them ready for what comes next? And so I'm seeing the same thing. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at my, where are my customers now? The ones that we're already in producing, we're okay. We're getting information on how the, assets are performing. But for the ones that are truly at the top of the funnel, they actually need a lot of help. And it's a great opportunity for me to expand, my business right now, and to take a positive message of, we will be fine. And in fact, like when I think about what we're going through right now, it reminded me of when I was a young kid. I moved from Northern California, farming country, and I went to school in San Diego. And I went out with some friends who were teaching me to surf. I did not realize that I was going out at Black's Beach, which was near the university, but was a very advanced, place to go surfing. Luckily, I was a great swimmer. I was on swim team. So we went out, and as the waves started coming in, I was feeling bombarded. And I feel like that's where we are right now. And I felt like I'm underwater. I'm feeling frightened. I'm feeling a little uncertain. But as soon as you poke your head up, the wave has passed. The first thing you do is you breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. And then you have to very quickly put together a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also do have to decide yourself, am I going to panic? Am I going to make this into a panic, which is very dangerous? Or am I going to enjoy this moment and help move through this? And so that's what I'm trying to do, and realize this is where I think we all as business owners realize everyone is feeling a level of anxiety. If we can be that calm voice in the storm, and we can really bring them along and focus and say, let's educate, let's look at some data, let's bring you along, we will build a foundation for our business right now that we're going to remember. This is the point when I pivoted and I really created a lot of very important relationships that are going to help me grow when these waves pass.
That is such a beautiful story. And I love how you tied that all together. Thank you for that. And I also appreciate how you were talking about, maybe I'm going to be doing more consulting right now. I do think that it's important that you ask your client base what they need from you the most. And for me, it's been different for all of our clients. For some of our clients, especially like the ones that are investing the most in us right now, they just want one-on-one conversation. So I clear calendar, and it's like, I'm there to engage them in that, even if that's outside of the scope of what they originally hired us for. I don't care. I'm not tracking that hours. I'm just there for whatever they need in that moment. And for other clients, it might be something a little bit different. Maybe they just want more regular communication to know where they are in their project, and nothing else has really changed for them, right? So I think that you shouldn't guess what your clients need from you. Be proactive about communicating with them. Nobody is expecting you to have all the answers right now, right? No. Nobody's expecting that. Because nobody knows what the future is going to hold. We can make some predictions. We have a whole lot of hopes and wishes and dreams for when this is going to turn around, but we don't know. And so the best thing that we can do is really be patient with one another, be flexible, be compassionate, just be kind with one another, be careful in how you're treating your service providers or your teams right now, and be flexible to pivot and offer something that your clients really need. And it might be different than what you were offering even a couple of weeks ago.
And let me add on.
Please.
And I also think that what our clients are looking for is, are we moving forward with steadied and measured confidence, right? They are looking to us because, to your point, do they expect us to be perfect? No, they don't. But they do expect us to be collected,
yes,
to be analyzing the situation,
yes,
and to be appropriately and respectfully emotional, right? I mean, we're all feeling stuff right now. We're all feeling fear. And the one thing that I've come to understand as I've transitioned from, being an executive to being an entrepreneur is mindset is so important in understanding and finding our calm confidence, right? And I get this from you, right? I mean, I get the calm confidence. I get the let's move forward, let's execute, and in communicating that, because guess what? That is something that is going to benefit all of us as human beings. And then also, it's going to help our ventures, our enterprises continue to rise.
Mm-hmm. And I will add, like, it's not been an easy ride for me, just like it hasn't for anybody, but it doesn't help anybody if I break down in front of a team member or a client. Like, I want to try to be strong for them, but I'm also not hiding how I'm really feeling either. I'm just not overreacting, which, by the way, as a highly emotional human being, I am so emotional and so sensitive. I am like every day patting myself on the back for how calm and steady I am. It's like, that's cool. Yeah. But that's what people need, because below the surface, we're all feeling that almost volcano feeling, right? But I do think that people need us to be as calm and steady as possible, to your point. And I am being very transparent about, hey, I'm feeling a bit of fatigue right now. I'll come back and address this tomorrow. Or, hey, it would, really help me if we could get on the phone, or it would really help me, just so you know, the next couple of days, Jason's going to be gone. So my availability might be a little bit scattered, right? So anything like that might cause a disruption, I'm being very open and honest about. I think the wrong thing to do, my view, is to pretend everything is okay, and below the surface, things aren't getting done. They're falling through the cracks. You're not asking for help. And then that is going to have a tsunami effect that you do not want. So I think you have to have open, honest communication.
You do. And I think one of the things that I would say a lot of us are dealing with right now, and I don't know if there's a formal name for it, but I think that I would call it proximity anxiety, which is, we're now, all of us, where we were dispersed and in motion, we're in smaller confined areas, and we're all together with family, with littles, right? With little people. I have 3 boys. I have an older son who's 7, and I have twins that are 5, almost 6. So I got a really tight grouping of these little guys. And again, is that a challenge, or is that an opportunity? And I think there's a huge opportunity to bring them along with this, because what you talked about, and this is again where I think our clients, our families, because this is a leadership conversation, which is moving forward in confidence and transparency of, I don't know everything. I am keeping it together right now, but I'm managing a lot of stuff that's happening inside, and really communicating with the littles and letting them know, because they're little people, right? And letting them know how we're managing everything. They know and understand what COVID is, COVID-19, right? This virus. And I think one of the things that we've done, and this is something that I'm actually, and we can talk about business, because I'm actually trying to help my sister, who is actually running service industry, right? She runs a cooking school and catering company, start pivoting to really being an expert around the family dinner table, because that's really where her passion lies. And that's something that we've been focused on is, okay, now we actually are getting 3 meals together a day, with,
Isn't
going
that
old school,
amazing?
right?
I know. Yeah.
But how do we create this environment where they're participating, because I think it's easy in the go-go environment. Okay, we're serving the kids, we're the sort of the prep cooks, right? Slopping everything on there. Go, okay, go. We're now, there's an opportunity to slow it down, bring them together. And we've been very intentional always around the dinner table, but now it's every meal. And how are we bringing around conversations? How are we, inviting the kids in to help and participate and be a part of this? I think this is a broader conversation, because we're all on top of each other right now. We are.
I love that. Such a beautiful message. We are doing similar things as well. More intentional, mindful family time. In fact, it was really cool. In between our town hall meeting this morning and this live stream, I took 10 minutes and I went downstairs and I found Jason and Clay at the dining room table, and they were coloring, except Jason had the most beautiful hand-drawn picture with crayons of the ocean and ocean life, and I was blown away that he produced that so beautiful. And I look over at Clay, and they're sitting there coloring, and Jason said, we just got finished watching a Magic School Bus episode, and we learned all about ocean life. And now he then took that as an opportunity to take it a step further, and now they're out there coloring what they just saw in the show, and they're talking about ocean life right now. Yeah. And I just thought, that made my heart grow like 10 sizes. That was so beautiful to see. So anything that we can do that's more mindful, I think that's a beautiful thing to come out of this. I want to pivot in our next 10 minutes. In about 10 minutes, the live stream continues. Christopher will sadly exit. He'll probably be back, though. Maybe I can twist his arm. And we are going to have Anik, we're going to have Kayvon and Heather come on for a very powerful announcement that's going to bring some relief to community. So definitely tune in for that. Start a watch party if you haven't already. Share this feed. We're just going to keep the live stream going. But Christopher, in our final 10 minutes, I definitely want to, one of the things I want to talk about is finances, right? That's your world, investing, leverage. to whatever comfort level you have in this conversation or are willing to share, what should small business owners be thinking right now in terms of finances and how to be as careful moving forward as possible?
Well,
A broad question there. What are you telling your clients even?
exactly. I mean, I think what I'm telling my clients right now is we're sort of in a wait and see position. And so wait and see generally means that the first thing you do is you look over all your expenses, right? And you have to understand, what is essential, what's not essential. And you have to go through and you have to clean up the expense, line items. And I'd say that's professionally and that's also personally, right? We all have subscriptions that are potentially, hanging out there.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Well,
And
yeah,
so,
we just had the conversation this morning. That's absolutely what we're tackling right now.
right. And so looking at that as a business owner saying, how do I trim my expenses? What is really necessary? And then I'd say, looking at how do you make sure you're building a strong cash position? I'm trying right now. I'm sort of understanding what are some of the companies, what is some of the best place to protect and put your cash, because I think that there's always opportunities, especially as we have the interest rates, going down, trying to understand where can we actually put money securely, but also get as much money in compound interest as possible is really
Right.
so trying to figure that out, but having a cash position. So I encourage people, go to your 401ks, right? I know that I had an old 401k and I took it out of the mutual funds, put it into the money market accounts, just try and get it out of the ups and the downs right now and get on the sidelines to figure out what's going to happen next. I'm not telling people to go liquidate a stock portfolio or anything, but I'm trying to say where you have opportunity, make sure you have a strong cash position and then look forward, try and do some forecasting and understanding what's next. As a small business owner, I did have some smoothie bars once. And I know that as we were navigating through the downturn of 2007, 2008, we were able to go to landlords and we were able to negotiate, some short-term reduction of rents and other things because they wanted to keep us in the building too. They were thriving businesses. So I'd say looking and negotiating with vendors and saying, how do we get through this, understanding that these are waves that are going to pass and we are in a hunker down mode, I think is very important.
Wow, that's really powerful. Thank you for saying all of that. Anything else that you feel to share that's in your heart and mind in any topic, whether it is family life, homeschooling, change in routine, business practices, any questions that you have? I kind of want to leave it as an open-ended canvas here in our last few minutes.
Yeah, I'd say that, the one thing that we've done as a family that's been tremendous, that's added sanity is just, we've got together, my wife and I say I'm type A, she's type A plus. So any of you,
I love your wife, Regina. So amazing. Oh my gosh.
I'm the quiet one in the relationship. Anyway, she's amazing. But when we come together, we said, let's actually create, just a routine because we don't know how long we're going to be in this new environment. So let's make something new. Let's make it something that works for all of us, including the kids. And then let's create the new normal, right? And so I think what I would say is we have an opportunity right now to create something new, something different. We can look back and I think I did an exercise actually at the beginning of this year that was really profound, and I'd be willing to work with you and post my notes. But
please,
what I found is that I had to go and I had to take some time and reflect, and I had to look at some lessons learned. I took a sabbatical as a technology executive as I was transitioning to be an entrepreneur, and I actually had my tonsils out in November, and I had some downtime. So I was reading, this book, Your Best Year Ever by Michael Hyatt. And it was a pretty small chapter that talked about how you look behind. And if you don't turn your experiences into lessons learned, they can create these open tapes in your head. And what I realized is I realized, oh my goodness, like I was playing these tapes, like, Christopher's not good at X or Christopher doesn't do good at Y. When I realized I'd actually just made some mistakes, some errors, and I hadn't converted those into lessons learned. So I went and did that exercise.
Powerful.
It was profound because the tape played in my head. Instead of saying, I am this, it's like, oh, I made this mistake, but here's what I learned. And I focused on that to really get to there's no fail, there's either win or learn, right? I really felt like I can really embody that now. And so whenever I get to the point now where I have some downtime or extra time like this, or, you know, your calendar is blown up, I would say invest in reflection, invest in reflection, and take time to look back and discover those lessons learned, and delete the old tapes, focus on where did I win? Where did I learn a lesson? And move forward in something that is new, right? This is our opportunity to reboot, to become something new. And this is such a small, I mean, I think in doing it the first time, it took me an hour and a half, but it was profound. And so I think that's what I really want to leave the community with, right? This is around elevate. This is around how do we leverage this opportunity to be something that moves us up, to move us forward. And so I'd say, how can we take our experiences, reflect on them, and turn those into lessons learned?
That mesmerized me a little bit, man. I got to tell you. And to have 10 minutes notice coming into this experience, being so present and on and helpful, that was really, really powerful advice. And just before I went on, I was talking to a girl on my team, Patty, and she said, Amber, you are processing so much at such an extreme rate right now. You know, take time to journal. And my response was, I don't have time to journal. And it's true. I'm not taking time right now. I'm so focused outward on service that I am not taking the proper time to look at what just happened today. But when you said that, that was so powerful. It actually reminded me of exercises or things that I've done in the past on the same vein. It's the reason why every time I walk out of my office, I have an orange Post-it note by the door, and it says, what are 3 things that you accomplished today? Because I'm such a driver, I like look so far outward that I don't always look backward and then celebrate the wins or learn the lessons. And my mentor, Ken Andruko, who's been on our series from time to time, he had me do that. And I'm so glad that he did. He's trying to teach me to kind of live in the gap versus the gain sometimes, or at least balance that a little bit better. I think that journaling is powerful. Just thinking as you're walking out of your office can be powerful. I think mentorship is powerful. So if you can hire somebody or do a trade, even if you don't want to spend the cash reserves, people will start trading services for sure right now. But find support, you know, maybe there's like a not-for-profit therapist out there who's willing to donate sometimes. But I think that somebody that maybe it's like a forced appointment where you can sit down and just talk and contemplate and process and look for the learning lessons, how powerful that could be. And by the way, the book launch manager in me feels called to share. Document your lessons right now, because this is a future book that the world must get their hands on and read. All of you, and Christopher already knows, because I'm like, dude, get your book out. We got to get your message out to the world. And he's working his buns off on that book, by the way, and it's going to be powerful. And there's no end to the number of books he's going to produce. But whatever you're experiencing right now, document it, because this could be your next book. It's pretty powerful. Christopher, dang, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Thank you for being here today. Wealthward, everybody. Christopher Nelson, follow him on social media. Go hunt him down. He is a man to know. Thank you for your time, Christopher. I appreciate you.
Take care.
All right. And just like that, we have Anik, we have Heather, and we have Kayvon joining the panel. Guys, we are live. We just finished a very powerful session with Christopher Nelson. And wow, this Elevate series, I have to tell you, is more than I thought it would be. The people coming onto the panel sharing very tactical steps that they are taking, both mentally, professionally, at home, what they are doing right now to pivot, to find opportunity, to create, to connect. I feel like the luckiest person on the planet to be facilitating all of these conversations right now. And today is going to be no different. This is one of the most powerful panels that we've had. And so guys, if you could just go around, spend a minute introducing yourselves, and then I'll set the intention for our time here together, and then we'll be off to the races. Don't be shy, anybody who wants to jump in.
I'll hop in. Hey, Anik Singal, and I've been doing online marketing and all this stuff for like 17 plus years now. Blessed to have been an entrepreneur for a long time and taught a lot of people everything from affiliate marketing, monetization, funnels, copywriting, conversion, email marketing, media buying. And so I'm just excited to be here and share whatever I can, and specifically like what I'm doing mentally to distract myself from everything that's happening and deal with it. Cause I've had to make some changes in my day and how I function, just to kind of, it can get a little overwhelming at times. And so I'm not shy to admit that it, got that way for me a few days ago also.
Same. Well, I cannot wait to hear more about that for sure. Heather and Kayvon, what's going on in your lives?
No,
Who are you anyway, Kayvon?
I'm doing well. Who is Kayvon? My name's Kayvon K, and really, I've been in the sales industry for 20 years, and I jumped in on the online marketing industry about almost 6 years ago, and I was that person that jumped right in and got sucked up and ended up being $150,000 in debt. Didn't know what I was going to do, and when I finally just accepted and owned my genius, everything started to change for me. And now I get to work with some big brands. I actually worked with Anik for a little while there, and been able to bring my passion for all things sales and connection to clients, to prospects, to people who want to change their lives to the online world. And it's been a pleasure, and it's been an honor to be here. And it's an honor to be here with you, Amber. I've been watching the series. What your team has done, let me just say, in the last 48, 78 hours to get this thing going, it's been really incredible to watch. And it shows the power of how great you are, but the power of how great everybody is to come together in a time of crisis. And much like Anik, I'm excited to show like my thoughts on this and how I believe that with everything that's happening and the change that's happening, there is an opportunity here, but not the one you think.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for this panel. Heather.
Yeah, so I am an attorney by trade, and I practiced law for over a decade, was in a large firm in management, and left to start my own company where my main goal is to help really successful professionals and business owners get to the next level. Because what I have found is that every leader has their own secret fears. And how do you work through that? So a lot of what we do is business strategy, but a lot of what we do is also mindset, and really finding courage to go after what you really want, say what you really want, and do what you really want. And I agree. I think there's so much opportunity right now and ways to serve. And I'm super excited to be on this panel.
Me too. This is going to be big. For those of you that don't know me, because there's a lot of people just being introduced to me, and I have a company, NG Enterprises, which stands for No Guts, No Glory. And I started my company back in 2007 online. So I've been online for a long time, and just like Anik. And I build websites for authors, speakers, and coaches. I do a lot of internet marketing. I launched best-selling books, about 35 of them now. I work with people in a variety of ways, and it is my absolute pleasure to bring to you this Elevate series. We are, in exchange for our time and value here today, encouraging everybody to please donate to COVID and economic relief organizations. We have some announcements to share today. We have some big conversations to be having today on this panel for the next 40 or so minutes. Do me a favor, guys, and start a watch party. Share this on your page. Tell your friends. Send it out in direct message. This is a conversation that everybody needs to hear. Anik, I got to start with you, man, because you were so compelling in that opening statement. What has been going on the past 48 hours for you? What's in your mind and in your heart right now to share?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll be very upfront. I'm a pretty transparent and blunt person. So sometimes I can say things a little bit, well, let's just say a little bit bluntly. But I've been, I'm just watching the industry, specifically our industry. So I had a big rant on my Facebook page about a week ago. I literally went off. I started calling people out because you start to get those emails that are like, how to profit from the coronavirus. And I'm just like, I cannot even fathom for a moment that we are in a place in our lives where that needs to be sent out. And this is coming from very credible people. It's people that are known names in the industry. And you start to get, there was one email, and I'm not shy to even talk about this, sent out by, again, someone who's known as one of the top copywriter trainers in the world. And I take personal offense to that because I love copywriting. It's a very, it's close to my heart. And he sends an email out that says, my friend died with the coronavirus. And I mean, albeit everyone will run to open that, right? Like I opened it too. And then the first email was like, relax, no one died, but I got your attention, didn't I? And yeah, exactly. Right. And so, and you imagine just what,
gosh, that just gave me such an intense emotional reaction.
Yeah. And thankfully there's enough good people in our industry that reaction happened from quite a few. And there was a lot of backlash and a lot of corrective behavior. And so there's like the first part of what was really bothering me was just how we are reacting as like a human society or as an industry. Like we can't, that's not cool. Like there's a difference between good and bad. That's bad. There's evil and good, and that's evil. Like it's not good. We just can't accept that. And it's okay that someone's doing it. That's their personal prerogative. But if we let them do it as an industry, then that's our problem. Like we need to step up. Secondly, it was the shaming that was going on, right? So when this thing was growing in China, I don't know what it was about it, but it got me concerned. And I've never really been a worrywart or like that at all. Like for some reason, there was something deep inside of me, whether it's spiritual or whatever it was, I was concerned. And so I didn't go out and like binge on stuff and stuff everything, but I bought stuff early. Like I knew gloves would go, sanitizers would go, masks would go. So this is like a month ago, I bought enough to just protect ourselves. And so I could say that, yes, I was worried about it. And then you start seeing people posting, people that don't know a damn thing about anything, right? It's like, what is your profession? You're an internet marketer. You're an SEO expert. What do you know about viruses and pandemics? And they're posting their opinions. Oh, you guys are stupid. This is nothing. It's a flu. It's a this, it's a that. And my point is, maybe you're right. Maybe you're not. But if someone's worried, they have a right to go prepare. Like I have a wife. I've got a family. I've got parents that are older. And if you think I'm evil or stupid for worrying about them, then I worry about you as a person. Like, do you not worry about people in your life and your family? So there was this massive public shaming going on. And I really want to call out like Julie, because she was awesome. Julie